When it comes to selecting the right financial products, many South Africans can be uninformed and overwhelmed, often leading to very poor financial decisions. But now, using a single platform, South Africans can compare products from different financial institutions in order to decide which one will best meet their financial needs. Joining me in studio to discuss Fincheck is the co-founder and Chief Innovation Officer of Fincheck, that is Christopher Ball. Chris, thanks so much for joining us. Interesting concept that you came up with. How did it start and how do you get access to this?
Well, thanks for having me. I guess the story really started with my first job. I worked at Lendico, which is a peer-to-peer lending network. And at that point in time, I did many roles. One of them was a credit assessor. And often I saw someone that was earning 40,000 Rand a month, but applying for a loan of 4,000 Rand. Yeah. And they're getting charged interest rates of around 32%, where they could be getting rates of about 16%. So this is where the idea started. And then Mike, the other co-founder, and I developed a bit further. And we extrapolated that onto all kinds of financial service offerings. So yeah. we cover 28 different products, all the way from loans through to your check accounts, even all the way through to your money markets.
Yeah, how do you access this?
So you can just go online to www.fincheck.co.za and you can click around there, and it's just very simple to navigate through. And all the information is right there at your fingertips.
So you mentioned different types of financial products, so from loans to investment products. Who do you have on board? Do you have any financial institutions that have looked at this, been interested? Just tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, so we've gone with the cover all kind of process. We've got relationships with certain providers, but we've also gone and dug for information on as many financial service providers as possible. So although we don't have a relationship with some of the banks, we still show their information as they show it on their website. And this is just to try to give the consumer a broad kind of overview of what the market is and where they are getting the best deals.
And just tell us about matching particular products. If I just think of unit trusts, there are hundreds and you don't even know where to begin. So how do you match the instrument or what is out there with what the consumer needs?
Well, we've just built our minimal viable product. And I guess in the essence of that, the thing that we're matching is people with their risk appetite. Yeah. So your unit trusts disclose where they fall on a kind of risk metric, and we've got consumers telling us that they hate risk, and you've got consumers that are telling us that all they want is risk. Yeah. So for the guys investing in high risk products, we might send them to a small cap kind of investment unit trust.
So you go online, you take a look at the products that are there, you're able to look at the degree of how comfortable you are in terms of investor risk. How are you different from your robo-advisors or any other products that's out in the market there? What's really your competitive edge here?
Well, we're not very different to your kind of robo-advisors. What we really are is just an aggregation platform, and that is essentially what robo-advisors do. We're very much in the simplistic stage of being a robo-advisor, but moving along forward, we might tend towards that direction of building out a full suite where we're judging people's risk appetite based on data that we can collect from Facebook or from Google searches. And that information is all out there for us to get, but we just need to decide what direction we're going to go and whether it's going to be economically beneficial for us to do it.
Obviously, you're still in the starting phase. How long have you been up and running? Just want to get a sense of the uptake, and then also in the perfect world, a few years from now, what does Fincheck look like?
So yeah, we launched in November, so a very short period of time so far, but we've garnered quite a lot of traction. I mean, this month we're on track to get 15,000 kind of users. And that's compared to about 1,200 in the very first month. So the growth that we're seeing is exponential. And you ask, where do you see us in the next few years? You have to sort of pin me down and tell me not to think too far in advance often, otherwise I lose sight of our immediate goals. But we really are going to be a full offering suite for financial service providers, and that means moving up the value chain and hopefully all the way through to the point where we'll be offering Fincheck's own financial service products.
Chris, I just want to try and later on we'll be talking about possible retrenchments, and people are obviously going to be looking at different products or different ways. Within the last couple of months since you've launched, have you seen any changes in what people are asking for in terms of the financial products that they're asking from you? Times are tough. Are you seeing more loans versus investments?
Yeah, times are tough, and I think data came out today, interestingly, saying that there's been an uptick in non-repayments of loans,
Yes.
Which is kind of scary because in the past few months we've just been having great improvements. But unfortunately that's moving up again. But on the same hand, what really excited me is that we've started seeing more people looking at trading accounts, and that means that people are hopefully moving away from being net lenders to net savers in some way or form. And that's definitely a culture that I'd like to promote in South Africa.
Mm-hmm. Next week we've got the World Economic Forum that's kicking off. The big theme there is transforming Africa through digitization and ensuring that we try and bridge that digital gap. You are playing on an online space. Every person that's come here who's on the same platform, I've asked them about the issues around broadband and access to internet. Has that been something that you've had to encounter with your clients?
It is something that we've encountered, but I think actually even better is that Africa's almost skipped the broadband kind of conundrum, where you've got a vast majority of users that have gone straight to smartphone devices. In South Africa, you've got smartphone penetration all the way up to about 50% versus your internet penetration of about 16%.
Yes.
And with the new products coming online, coming out of China, and even phones coming out of Africa, hopefully we'll soon see a smartphone that's really available to absolutely everyone. And that, for me, is the really exciting trend, is when everybody in Africa has access to internet through their smartphone.
Chris, thanks so much for coming in, and congratulations and the best of luck with your venture. Do keep in touch with us and let us know how it's going in the next year or so. We should catch up and see.
I will do.
Thank you so much. That was Chris Ball, co-founder and Chief Innovation Officer of Fincheck.